is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Himanshu Agarwal. He is presently positioned as the Senior Vice President of International Markets, Zydex Industries Pvt. Limited, Vadodara. He is the Co-Chair Infrastructure Committee, PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, New Delhi. He has over 3 decades of experience in marketing technologies, consumer products, services, and industrial chemicals. He works to enhance the cause of sustainability and advocacy with government stakeholders. He is an expert in country startups and company turnaround. He also leads the penetration of technologies and innovations into Europe and India. Mr. Himanshu will present a talk on nanotechnologies for water-resistant flexible pavements, longer life, lower maintenance. So let's welcome Mr. Himanshu.
Thank you very much, Riya. Good evening to one and all. Your theme of rapid expansion and makeover of Indian road network, very, very contemporary theme, in my opinion, because we are embarking on a journey from $3 trillion to $30 trillion. What does it mean? What it means is we are taking a journey of 10x our footprint in the GDP space itself. Does it mean we need a 10x network? If we are talking of 50 kilometers a day, we are talking of 18,000 kilometers in a year. And that pace, if we construct for the next 20 years, we would end up having a network of 3.6 lakh kilometers additional. I will take up some of the pointers and some of the challenges which will come in this whole journey that we have taken. And will give you a feel from a materials perspective, because at the end, construction of a highway requires materials. That's fundamental. Now, when we talk of materials, there are 3 basic materials which are required. One is the existing soil on which the pavement is made. You need stones or aggregates, as they are called. That means we have to dig up the hills and the mountains and get the stones, construct a highway. And then we need the other material, which is either a bitumen or a cement if we are constructing a flexible pavement, or if we are constructing a CC road. Even if we do a precast, we still will need cement. So how is it that we can take on this journey, embark on the challenge, and still be in terms of the right side of sustainability is what I will share in the next couple of minutes. What we bring, Zydex is an Indian company. We work across the world in 50 countries. We have globally patented technologies. And we've been working since 2008 in the space of sustainability for the road networks. We have different areas, we have different verticals, but I'll not get onto that. I'll quickly move on to. So while we focus on the road network, that is 6.2 million kilometers. Today, as already shared by my co-panelist speaker, India is a young country, young population. 60% of the people are of the age of below 30. That means the next 20 years, we will be a young India, digitally connected. When we say digitally connected, what it means is that the youngster sitting in, let's say, somewhere in the northeast or somewhere in the hinterland of Bastar district or wherever, expects a road which is equivalent to a highway near where they live. Nobody is going to wait for either we get onto migration into urbanization, or we get into a reverse migration and create road networks which are spread out. That means we have to create a network which has mandatorily a long life. Every highway that we construct has a design life of 20 years. Challenge is, can we bring it to 30 years to 50 years? What is it that we need to do for doing that? I will not touch upon the rail network and the airport and this seaports, but they are definitely a holistic part of the whole network of the infrastructure. And the purpose of making a highway is to move materials and men, which means commercial output. What we need is pavements with extended life. We need perpetual pavements. In the Amrit Kal that we live in, as the government of India has envisaged a journey for next 25 years into 2047, we would like these construction highways, precast or in situ, to be there in 2047 as they are constructed today. That's what would be our wish list. So what is it that we need to do? We need high quality, high speed, safe and smooth rides. India is saddled with 1.5 lakh fatalities per year. we should have vision zero. That means zero fatality. We cannot prevent accidents. We definitely can hope to get to zero fatalities. Use of advanced construction techniques, equipments, technology to replace additives to replace and reduce the scarce resources is very, very important. Preventive maintenance is a very important aspect to see through the service life of these pavements and, if possible, extend it as well. It is also a very important task to have skilled manpower for the high quality construction. Imagine we are talking of a sustained construction of this this phenomena of construction, and we need manpower. And only motorways or expressways and highways is not sufficient. What we also need is state highways. What we also need is probably the rural highways, as I'm very fond of calling, so that we have last mile connectivity. Nobody is interested in the road, which is of a low quality. Even if the traffic is less, let it be a rural highway. So we need to have at least 1 million kilometers of these kind of networks, which are core network and extended arms into the last mile where the commercial act happen. I would think what comes to my mind is that from the river-based economies of the ancient times, we should be looking at highway-based economies. So I call them highway economies as compared to riverine. Let me share with you what is very imperative today. Today, any highway that we construct is good at the time of construction. The question is how good it is. Are we looking at controlling the construction quality? Are we having the top of the line QA standards so that we have an assurance that this road that is constructed will live for at least 20 years and, if possible, to 30 to 50 years? Do we need to change and rewire our contracts from lowest life or let's say lowest cost to longest life? Because lowest cost mandatorily would mean that the contractor has to optimize his resources and do the best in the cost at which he or she takes the highway bid. If we can do financial re-engineering and get on to giving bonuses on deferred basis for every additional year that the road survives, that, in my opinion, would shift the narrative from lowest cost to not only lowest cost, but also to make money for using intelligence for building high quality assets. What does water do? Water damages the roads. It's known to all. We are just about in the season of monsoon. I'm sure the whole newspapers will be filled with how many potholes are happening every. What nanomaterials today do is they cut off the water permeation into the road. When you cut off the water permeation, what it means is that the road strength as you have developed today will not go down. If the road strength doesn't go down, that means the life of the road will remain as it is, maybe 3 years from now, or 5 years from now, or 10 years. So the trick is to see that the soil base that is constructed does not go down in strength over time. Nanomaterials work at the size of 4 to 6 nanometers, water size small. COVID viruses, let me tell you, are 100 nano. Our human hair, as you can see on the slide, is 100,000. Yes, that gives you a scalar as to what are we dealing with, why water is an enemy. What are the impacts of nanotechnology is you can reduce consumption of aggregates and bitumen as well as diesel. Today, a lot of heating of the bitumen materials that we do consumes diesel or furnace oil. If we can reduce that, we save on using of in situ materials, waste materials, fly ash, slag. All these materials are very, very imperative. That means we need to have excellent laboratories where all these mixes can be designed and we construct highways using minimized travel of materials, if possible, in situ. Build water resistance, reduce fatigue, enhance. I have talked about perpetual pavements, reduction of cracks and potholes is very important. To give a safe ride. Why safe ride is important? It has a positive impact on GDP and index. Today, after traveling for 2 hours in Bangalore in the morning, I am not sure what is the productivity of the young professional. Or from office in the evening back to home at the end of the 2-hour travel in what kind of conditions we have, I am not sure what is the happiness index. So what happens? We are fighting on global level to get our earnings in dollars and euros to become a wealthier nation. That should be the purpose of creating any infrastructure. Materials, I will not go into details. These are nanomaterials. What they do is they reduce the consumption of aggregates. What mechanism is detailed, but let me take you right up to the what it does. You look at this. This is a non-bituminous road, 100 inches of rain, traffic is on, aggregates only 30%, which means if you can reduce the consumption of aggregates, you won the game. What is very important is I already talked about no potholes and smoother rides. I think one of the major aspects of construction is that we have a short season. I am very, very convinced in my mind that when we have season time from October, November to the monsoon season, not only do we construct in daytime, we should get to nighttime construction mandatory. That means our season time will double up. So we could possibly construct at a pace which is 1.5 to 2 times of the constructing and sub-zero temperatures, very, very important. What is also important is preventive maintenance. Look at the damage which happens on water. You have water which comes in, the aggregates get, the bitumen goes away, while here you have bitumen which is stuck onto the aggregates. Bitumen can survive for at least 10 to 15 years. Look at this road, 2009, 2016, no change in contractors' practice. Bitumen is designed to survive. The question is, do we make it to work optimally? Today, I think with the kind of technologies that we have, with the kind of telematics that we have, we should not only have vehicle to vehicle communication, we should use telematics to advantage to have vehicle to surface communication or below the surface communication so that the installed sensors and probes can tell you the damage which is happening, and then we can get on to doing preventive. Preventive is always cheaper than doing a post-factory reconstruction. Last point I would like to share is that what we should look at is, if you look at railway tracks, the trains keep running 365 days a year, even in monsoon. Here we have a bituminous track, a highway which gets into a pothole, or a smart city which gets into a pothole. Now, how can it be that potholes come in these kind of covered bituminous roads and the railway tracks which are do not having anything except for ballast and soil do not have damage? That means something is happening there which we need to recreate here. Similarly, if you look at runways of airports, they run and we do not have damage, or if the damage is there, there is no reflection of that damage. The maintenance is so strong. I think same aspects. So thank you very much. Back.
Thank you, Mr. Himanshu, for the excellent talk on nanotechnologies for water resistant, flexible pavement and longer life.